What are some things in the last 5 years you learned that you wish you knew previously?
I have to say it's probably the ability to network and also to cold call companies and not really mind the rejection as much as I used to. So I think it's, I look at my age and say, if you can't make that telephone call now, you're never ever going to be able to make it. So I think it's a more relaxed attitude about what's going to happen. And a lot of the last 5 years have been making this movie, Lost Feb. I would say maybe 3 years of it from the beginning to now. And that's a life dream come true. So I'm feeling really good about stuff now. Yeah.
And why would you be cold calling companies?
To sell the next project. So you got to get past the gatekeepers, that are preventing you from getting to the person that can read your script and say yes to it. Because my next project is not something I can self-finance, so I have to sell it. Got to get it out there,
Do you think people are less apt to say no these days? You just don't hear from them. Do you think before people gave you a clear no or yes? Maybe now nobody wants to hurt anybody's feelings? Everybody's sensitive, so nobody wants to.
It's a bit like when I was in the commercial business, I made a lot of commercials in Japan, and they used to say, well, when you're talking to Japanese companies, it's like yes means maybe, and maybe means no. So I think I don't think people say no to you. Some do very quickly, very professionally. They'll read it right away, and most just like disappear into the ozone, and you never hear from them. So, which is why it's important. Earlier in my career, I would send my script out. Oh, please read my script, and then you'd wait 6 weeks and not hear from them. And so now it's just like 3 companies every day. You just there's a lot of fish in the sea. You got to just keep going and keep it out there. And I'm a lot better than that at doing that than I used to be. So.
Do you really think networking helps with success?
Yes. I think people like to make movies with their friends, and they want to be friends, and those are the projects that get made. Other than the whole kind of impenetrable situations that a lot of movies are deals, they're not really like, we think of them as like creative projects, but it's the film industry. So, it's a lot of the big movies that get made, they're deals, they're not creative projects like they used to be in the old studio system. And so I think that's why you see a lot of projects that are not cast well, because we got this script, we got this actor, he's interested, and movies are put together and engineered more than being works of art and love that get made by people. Sad.
Except for some art house cinema that I've seen recently.
Yes.
It's been quite good.
Yeah, no, independent cinema is still alive and well, and actually a lot more alive and well. I have to say Lost Fair goes into that category, and there wouldn't have been an outlet for those movies. This movie would never have got distribution 5 years ago. Would have been very, very difficult. But now with streaming services, once again, it's democratized the whole process. You can make a little movie, and if you make it well, people want to watch it. So that's great.
Did it have theatrical distribution?
It had a week theatrical. Unfortunately, it was supposed to run 3 times a day instead of once a day, and therefore it wasn't eligible for Academy consideration. And the reason that I wanted to do that was because that gives you an opportunity to mail out DVDs and Blu-rays to a lot of people in the industry. So whereas the movie has done well commercially, or is doing well commercially, not that many people inside the business have seen it. So that would have been nicer. So we live and learn, you know.
Tell us about the biggest success you've had in your career.
It's always my next job is the biggest success that I'm going to make it. So I think I've been so lucky throughout my career. It would be very hard to pinpoint one high point. But when I look back on, you know, what I have achieved, I didn't realize what I'd achieved until I started doing Comic-Cons, and people would come up to me and said, "Oh gosh, yes, Star Wars. That's why I got in the business when I saw that movie." Or I've had people come up and say, "Yeah, I saw your movie Tron, and I decided to be a software programmer and this and that." Until you see what, so I would say the big success is the body of work and the influence that it's had on people.
So that sounds like it's something that you're not able to see right away. It's going to take time and then interactions.
Exactly.
Did it make you look at the projects you worked on because you knew how much struggle or whatever was behind it, but then to have someone approach you after you were on a panel or something,
right,
and say that?
Well, it certainly made it all worthwhile, you know, so.
Right. Did you always know you were going to work at higher levels in the industry?
I always aspired to work at higher levels. I didn't know I was going to get what I was aiming for, but I've achieved many of the things that I wanted to. And there'll always be people that are, it's like in racing. There's always somebody faster than you, and there's always somebody slower than you. So it's like you've achieved greatly, but you'll never get there, you know.
I think competition matters less, and maybe after like 35, is there so much pressure on people to like do this by age, whatever, and it seems like it used to be 40 and now it's 30 and now it's 25, and do you
Right.
think as time goes on, people let competition go because even if they have achieved it, they go, yeah, but was it enjoyable?
Well, for me, it's been enjoyable on every step of the road. You know, I think there is that pressure, and I've put pressure on myself to do that. I don't really feel like coming from outside, because people always say, "Gosh, look what you've done," you know. But for me, it's never enough, you know. So that's always what pushes me on to the next thing. So I think competitiveness, I think I competed with myself, you know. I think that's how it works for me, you know. I mean, and of course there are people that, gosh, I wish I'd done that. I wish I'd made that movie. I wish I wish I was on my 10th or feature grossing or $100 million, you know. But I'm where I am. I'm very content with that now, and so I think as time goes by, you're a little easier on yourself.
Right. Yeah, sometimes I see younger people and they just seem so, I mean, they have to have something no matter what the cost. And I'm just wondering, as society's sped up, they watch their parents lose things during the recession or struggle during the recession,
right.
And then it's become even more like life or death. Sometimes I see that in people.
Well, desperation is not a good feature. It doesn't do, that desperate feeling doesn't do well when you're interviewing for a job. It doesn't do well for yourself while you're trying to achieve something. So yes, I think a lot of people do feel that, but I don't think it's constructive to their careers at all, you know.
Right. I think some people, though, are hardwired to be more competitive than others.
I guess it's the American way, huh? You know?
Maybe, that's true, yeah.